All right. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Call Halayim Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Akha Kodash, double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone who taught us the truth. Honors and salutations to all Sayakim without the four corners of the earth, laboring in honesty, sincerity, charity, and sound doctrine. To the Akwathim and to the children that believe on the true names of the Father and the Son, which the Father's name is Yahweh, He exists. The Son's name is Yahweh Shai, He is the deliverer. Alright? My name is Mark Allah Bangab and Yasharala. I'm with the Watchman Philadelphia camp, you know. And I was been came across this video with this dude, Alex Jones, man. The InfoWars dude. And his real name is Bill Hicks, man. You know, if you do the research on that, I believe it's like 1990. I said 92, 93, but anyway, just you get a chance, just Google Bill Hicks, the comedian. All right. And then all of a sudden he came back. He supposedly died from cancer, but now all of a sudden you had this dude. And matter of fact, in his jokes, when he was a comedian or whatever, he was always going in on like political things. You know what I'm saying? Then all of a sudden you get from Bill Hicks, now you got this guy Alex Jones, which came out of nowhere. You know? But anyway, man, I'm gonna play this video. And he's basically talking about the so called black woman, the way we do. And he's bringing out some key points about it. So I'm gonna play this video, and I have Shalom, Yahba Shemya Shabrakatah. So I'm gonna play this video real quick, and I got a couple scriptures lined up and all that. But yeah, man, it's just basically on a nigga woman, man. All right, here we go.
And I ask you to look in the mirror and ask yourselves, what are you doing in this time of great challenge? To break down how they had to get women to see men as the enemy. And again, she went on to say, we'll use blacks because they're the weakest group, they're the poorest group, they're the most institutionalized group. At that time, just being 78 years or so out of slavery in the 1860s. She said, what we'll do is just like we had the old system of the women were brought into the house. You're getting the big secret of feminism right now. Just like the house slave was always a woman and the men were kept out in the barn and weren't allowed to read or write, we're going to set women up as the minders of society again. There's actually Roman handbooks on this from 2,000 years ago where they talk about, with white slaves at that time, mainly from Western Europe, you bring in the slaves, you kill a couple of the men in front of the women, you even kill some of the kids, and you tell the women, it's your job to keep these men in line or we're going to kill all of you. And they found that women, believing they were protecting people, would become incredible oppressors and tattletales over the men. And then within a few generations, they started enjoying the oppression and didn't even do it to, quote, protect the men. And I was reading about how they retranslated those Roman documents from Latin into French and then into English by the 1820s or so in the sugarcane plantations. I'm giving you history here. Heavy truth, folks. The sugarcane plantations in the Caribbean, they would bring a ship of slaves in. Already half of them on average from Africa would have died in the trip over because they didn't really feed them from Africa. And they'd get them off the coffin ship and then they would kill the most well-spoken, obvious leader, just from body language and things, of the blacks that was alive in front of the women. They'd beat their brains out or they would hang them. And they'd tell the women, we're going to kill all your male children if you don't keep everybody in line. Is that understood? And they found the women would do whatever they were told. So that's where you get the mammy in all the Three Stooges movies and stuff, bossing the black guys around, and in all the old movies that are still, representing what really happened in history, where the black woman is in charge, and she's got the big, big mammy outfit on, Aunt Jemima, and she's in there telling those black men, you do what you're told. In fact, in this culture got so dominant that my father, when he would pick cotton, and he did pick cotton, even though he came from a middle-class family, he was sent out to pick cotton, that he would go out and pick cotton on adjacent farms, and that they had groups of black people out there picking the cotton. And do you know who the bosses were? Giant, powerful black women. And they were even bossing the poor whites around. Now, that's what my dad grew up in East Texas. And my dad's only, 63 years old, okay? My dad grew up with a black woman foreman telling the poor whites what to do. Now that is that culture, ladies and gentlemen. And I've read in the history diaries about breeding programs in this country where they would actually single out the most aggressive, largest black women. This goes back 200 years. You can look this up. This is the history you're not supposed to know, to be the dominant people. So that's all Katy Perry and all this is. That's what feminism is. In fact, there's Margaret Sanger to the KKK. Show them that. That's powerful. In fact, we'll get people a full screen of that. I'm begging you, that's a real photo, to look into this now. When your wife comes home and dresses you down and tells you she's the boss, she's reading government propaganda developed in Rome 2,000 years ago to make women the slave masters. They call them the house slaves. They have an obnoxious term when it's blacks. The house, what's. And so let me expand on this, giving you the deep truth here. That's why in the 60s, blacks were demanding their liberty because they'd gone to war in World War II. They had their own communities, their own wealth. Illegitimacy was much lower than it is now. Crime rates much lower. And they said, Margaret Sanger and others, that developed the program, they said, what we'll do is we'll get them on welfare and we'll tell them, you can't have a man in the house who'll give you money. And we'll reinstitute the house slave model. And that's what they've created now. And black men are told, just like white men, everybody else, to be lethargic, don't work, be a gangster, just get women pregnant all day, that you're winning when you do that, when you don't take care of your kids. This is now being exported back where it came from with German and Gaulish slaves in Rome 2,000 years ago. Started out with whites, but this was done to whites. And now it's being done to blacks, and now they've beta tested it on blacks, and they're rolling it out. So Margaret Sanger, Gloria Steinem, the idiot Katy Perry doesn't know what she's doing. She's just paid by the Marines to do this, so does it. I mean, she's obviously doesn't have, two brain cells rubbed together. I mean, just look at her eyes. She's got one-way eyes. But when you look at the snake eyes of a Margaret Sanger or the devil eyes of a Gloria Steinem, they know how to run savage ops on our families. And they've devastated things. Blacks were, depending on what area, 30% illegitimate, 40% illegitimate. When you are illegitimate, that means you're 3 to 4 times more likely to be in prison or involved in crime. Now blacks are 92% illegitimate. Whites are 50% illegitimate now. Hispanics are about the same number as whites. And you can just see it. Society totally falling apart, totally crumbling. And so I just want to right now say to Gloria Steinem and to the Ku Klux Klan and to Margaret Sanger there with the Klan, who the liberals worship, I want to say you've done a great job. You have really screwed people up. And of course, they've also got the liberals, who aren't really liberals, that are Klan members. They've got them doing a great job where blacks get all upset when the media, talks about Trayvon Martin and some questionable event to get everybody at each other's throats. So the liberals can pose as their saviors while they're busy killing 52% of black folks before they're born. You can't get black folks excited about that because the media and Wolf Blitzer didn't say so. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I've gone deeply now into the secrets of what's going on with Katy Perry. Part of me, that disgusting, fetid, anti-human garbage. Let me explain something. Defeating the New World Order starts one place. When men and women understand that a man is not whole and a woman is not whole. Humanity is a man and woman. Humanity is the interface of man and woman.
That's a lie.
And that's why the system attacks marriage and man and woman and makes it like some bigoted anti-civil rights thing when you say marriage is very important. Breeding between lions is important. Breeding between blue whales is important. Fire ant breeding is important. They're attacking through a scientific dictatorship the institution of humanity itself and packaging it as some civil rights crusade. Invade Africa to help the black people. Coney 2012. Manifest fraud. Margaret Sanger and Katy Perry. Women, let's get the men. Let's join the Marines in some feminist exploit. Let's invade and take over the military. You'll show the men. You'll choke them out. This is only one phase right now. But they do want to make most of the peacekeepers women. A bunch of Elena Kagans with machine guns waddling around. I mean, it's a nightmare system. And people need to see it. Women, you've not been empowered by feminism. You've been turned into sexual objects who don't have any time to have any time off or to be appreciated for what you really are. You've been lied to about women's position in society throughout history. You are the society. You are the creatures, the more dominant of the two. You create and grow the next life. And they tell you, oh, that's a horrible thing. The feminists say your baby is a parasite. They don't ever want you to really have a child, so you're empowered through it. And they want your child drinking a bunch of Coca-Cola and McDonald's, bouncing off the wall screwed up, so that you don't understand what your child would have really been. They are attacking us so they can rewrite our society. Speaking of Margaret Sanger wanting to exterminate blacks and being worshipped in every liberal publication as a loving liberal, here are some numbers. You can go check these out for yourself. Approximate number of African American deaths since 1973. AIDS, 292,000 here in the United States. Violent crimes, 306,000. Accidents, 370,000. Cancer, 1.6 mil. Heart disease, 2.2 mil. Abortion, 11,156,700. And then that number's a couple years old. That's through 2001, so you know. I guess it's probably more like 15, 16 million now if you follow the graphs we've got. And Margaret Sanger said, we got to kill these people. You can pull the quotes up. I just showed you her at the Klan rallies. And by the way, when I did Endgame, I didn't just, we didn't even end up putting all that in there, but in the research, I had Aaron Dykes ride off to the universities to get and to pay to have the actual microfilm photographed. And we shut it on air at the time to show her actual letters, copies of saying, how do we kill these black subhuman weeds? Those are quotes. We pose as liberals, we buy off the black leadership. And they worked out plans to have the black leadership always stir blacks and whites up against each other, pose as their friends. Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton on the MSNBC, trendy channel. Again, real racists like Margaret Sanger are like, I love you, black. Behind the scenes, murder him. And again, I come out and cover this, and I've seen folks saying they're black on my YouTube channel when I point out this Trayvon Martin thing is a media hoax. The whole event's a hoax. Whatever the truth is, it's a hoax to get us fighting with each other. And they're like, I knew you were a racist. Good then. Go ahead, okay? Go have a couple more abortions. Kill some black babies. I'm the bad guy. You're the people buying in to the New World Order's propaganda, and the women are the ones buying in to hating their men and thinking they're getting a leg up on somebody watching MTV they think's their friend. And men that think it's cool to act like idiots all day and act like fools because the TV shows tell them to. You're idiots too. It's time for everybody to get wise to this propaganda, and I'm sick of it. As for the Trayvon Martin situation.
All right, man. So this dude, man, he made a lot of key points or whatever, but then at the same time, he threw his bullshit in there, man. And that's what Esau does. So I got some scriptures written down that I'm gonna pull real quick. I'm gonna see where the spirit takes it. But you see how he talking about how they did everything once the slaves came off the ship, beat down the biggest man and all that. Why you think so? And then he's talking about they put the women up. So I can hold on, I can. Okay, con. All right. So look. Uh. So now listen. This is First Peter, chapter 3 and 7, and this lets you know that the woman is the weaker vessel. Like you can't. Like a man ain't going for all that bullshit. You know. That's why they beat the men down in front of the women, as he was saying. All right. So this is First Peter chapter 3 and 7. It says, likewise, ye husbands dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered. So yeah, man, that just lets you know right there that the woman is the weaker vessel. Now look what they do. He said basically he was saying they set the women up over us, man. You know, they set the women up over us after they started like, yo, y'all gotta control this. That's some childish shit, man. And Esau is what? A child, man. All right. So this is Isaiah chapter 3 and 12. The book of Isaiah chapter 3 verse 12. It says, as for my people, children are their oppressors. So children is talking about Esau. Because look at all Esau's they laws and all that. And the way they conduct. Esau acts like a straight up child, man. All right. So it says, this is Isaiah chapter 3 and 12. It says, as for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy the way of thy path. So yeah, con man, you have like he said, man, they set the women up over the men, you know, and hey, man, it's still like that now. He even mentioned the welfare system, cause what the women do now, they's like, I don't need no nigga in my house. I don't need my baby father, which it shouldn't even be your baby father. That's your husband. But they say they don't need no man. Why? Because Esau is basically their man. Through what? The welfare system and all the benefits that they have. But once this system collapses, who they gonna come back to? You know? The men that's in authority. The men who Yahweh Bashim Yahweh set up. You know? The elect. That's why I tell you 7 women shall take hold of 1 man. 7 don't just mean 7, that just means complete. You know, so it's gonna be a lot of women out here chasing a man down that knows the word, man. You know? Alright. So this is Jeremiah chapter 31 and 22. Shalom, Ma'ya Bashim Yashar Brakatah. You know? This is Jeremiah 31 and 22, which it says, how long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For Yahweh Bashim Yahushua hath created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man. And yo, that's what the dude literally was talking about in that video. Because before we even came over to this place, and you can go back to the ancient times and all that, who was in authority? The men. The men always is in control. But what the women, they always want to chase power. So being as though like we under these curses, which the curses are being lifted now, you know, that the women saw the strongest, most like say if you have a king and you see him get beat down and you're a woman and you feared that man, you gonna fear the man that beat him down. And whatever he tell you to do, you gonna do it. So that's what Esau did. That was his tactics. You know, but Yahweh Shah created that, says a woman shall compass a man. And what? The women is over us. That's why I brought out Isaiah 3 and 12, man. You know? And also we brought out what? Matter of fact, I'm gonna bring it out. This is Micah 7 and 10 real fast. Because he also made mention of I'm just like brainstorming real quick, but like trying to think about everything that he said in that video, because there was a lot of stuff. He even went into the race wars, man. You know, and he was talking about how Esau, like basically Esau even oppresses Esau. So a lot of things he said wasn't wrong, but I'm just hitting the points about where the women at, because on the beginning of that video you got the black woman, like so-called black woman, which is the Israelite woman with a hand like this. It looked like an Edomite woman behind her, same poles or whatever. But he said that they made our women become our enemies, which they had, because what our women hate us, man. Why? Because of what we became. You know, we have fallen to the like. Well, that's why I say, what's that? That worm Jacob. You know, a worm is what? Then the earthworm goes into the ground, so that's a low state, man. When you think about the earth and underneath the ground and all that, compared to like going up to the heavens, that's a low ass state. That's the lowest state you could get to, and that's where Israel was at, man. But this is Micah chapter 7 and 10. Since the women to prove to you that our women are our enemy, it says, "Then she that is mine enemy shall see it." All right. So all the things that we out here talking about on these highways and byways, on these videos that we do, once these things, matter of fact, they starting to see these things now. So they like, damn, man, them dudes, maybe they not lying, but they still, because they got the benefits of Esau, you know, they still want to hang on to that, you know. But you gonna hang on to that shit until what? Your ass get destroyed, man. You know, you can't play both sides of the fence, man. You know, just like the scriptures say, you can't serve two masters. For you gonna love the one, or you gonna hate the other, man. And we to the women of Yasharala, the men is your masters, man. You know, but y'all don't believe that right now. But you will soon see, man. All right, I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna start it from the top again. This is Micah chapter 7 and 10. It says, "Then she that is my enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, Where is Yahweh Bashem outside our power? Mine eyes shall behold her. Now shall she be trodden down as the mire in the streets," man. So, yo, you gonna whoop her ass in that day, man. Why? Because, first of all, the women are faithless anyway, man. You know? All they just love the goodies. Anything that they love comfortability, man. A woman can't be in an uncomfortable situation for so long, man. A man like, yo, look, man, I'm rocking up, you know. But the Lord teach Yahweh Bashem outside still compares us to women, because yo, we complain sometimes, man. That's our father, so we complain on to him. Just like you know, you might have a woman, you're in a rough situation, she complain to you, you know. That's right, brother. They only respect power, man. That's why I wish that in our Psalms it says that our people will be willing in the day of our power, man. You know? So once all this shit is said and done, man, and they start seeing the men get the spiritual powers and all that, them bitches gonna be like, oh shit, I knew I should have stayed with him. I knew it, man. It was something about him that was different than everybody else. No, it's gonna be too late then, man. Like I said, they gonna be trodden down like the mire in the streets. Why? Because you wanted to side with Esau, your enemy. So you're going to get the same treatment as Esau gets, man. You know? And this is how they tricked them too. You know, this is Psalms chapter 55 and 21. Because they got Gad like that. They got all of us like that. All the tribes, man. So this is the book of Psalms chapter 55 and 21. It says, "The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet with drawn swords." So, yo, they lied to our women, lied to us and all that, you know. Told the women, oh, you could be just like the Most High. Like going back into the Garden of Eden, you know. When the serpent came, that nigga came and tried to and hollered at our women, man. And she bought that bullshit. But at the same time, he's like, man, I want to bring these niggas down, man. I know the Most High chose them, you know. I hate these motherfuckers because the Most High chose them, you know. So that's the words of their mouth was smoother than, it says it was smoother than butter. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how, like, if butter is soft and you smooth it out, that's some smooth shit. That's the way Esau be rapping to you, you know. But for the elect, man, we're not ignorant to his devices. And that rap that he got is one of his devices, man. But the women, they be on that shit, man. You know? They be on that shit. So, like, matter of fact, let's go to this one real quick. This is 1 Timothy chapter 2 and 13. It says, matter of fact, all right, now I'm gonna go right to the point. 13. This is First Timothy chapter 2 and 13. It says, "For Adam was first formed, then Eve, and Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in transgression," man. So Adam was first formed, right? Then Eve, and Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in transgression, man. So when the Esau's whispered in Eve's ear, like, you could be just like the Most High, you could be just like the man, you could do this and this and this and that. If you like, but the Lord, He like for His men, starting with the elect, like you can't fool them, man. Like we know why we going through what we going through. We understand things, man. So it ain't no foolishness. You could tell us like, you know what? Just deny Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah, and I'll give you all this shit right here, this earth right here. I'll give you everything in America. You would be a fucking fool to fall for some shit like that, knowing this place is about to get destroyed, man. Hey, man, you got some niggas out there that are like, oh, word, Esau? For real, I can have all this shit? Why? Because they don't have no faith, man, and they fooled by Esau's devices. But you tell a woman that right now, and they living in a fucked up situation with their husband and all that, they be like, just say that you're a man of the Lord, and they be like, you leave that nigga, man, because he don't got shit. He's a fucking bum. I'll give you the whole state of Pennsylvania. That's your shit. You run it how you want to run it. And you get the money how you get it. But it's all yours for the taking. A bitch gonna look at you like, man, fuck that nigga, I'm out. Especially if she living in some fucked up conditions. And then her whole way of thinking, like, she might be like, I'm out, I'm gonna go do this, but, oh, baby, I'm gonna come back for you. But she ain't gonna say that, but that's gonna be her mindset, The same way they do now, man. I'm going to read that again. This is First Timothy chapter 2 and 13. It says, "For Adam was first formed, then Eve. And Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in transgression," man. So she was in sin. All right? That's why the woman is the weaker vessel, man. You can't trust these hoes for shit. I'm going to bring out this last precept because this dude was really getting emotional about the fact, and man, Alex Jones is a fucking demon, man. All right, but Esau know their time is up. They know their kingdom is done. So now it's like they starting to see the prophecies come. They seeing the Israelites wake up, man. Which after this video, I'm gonna hop back on because I found some icons, that I want to share with the Akim, which are interesting, man, But, so, like, they know the race wars is coming and all that. And, in the video that I played, he kept saying black. We're not black, man. We're Israelites with different shades of brown. So that's how you know that persecution is coming, man. But I believe it's in Jeremiah 50 and 20, if I'm not mistaken. It talks about forgiveness and all that, but only the elect won't be forgiven, man. But that's a whole different topic. But I'm gonna finish off with this. This is the book of the bunk what that dude was saying, because race wars are coming to America, man. It's already starting. Well, who that nigga Trump? He setting that vibration. That's why he was set up, man. All right. Well, that's one of the reasons why he was set. I ain't gonna say that's the whole main reason. But that's one of the reasons why he was set up. So this is 2nd Ezra chapter 15, and I'm going to start at verse 15. It says, "For the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor their princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power," man. So, man, that's telling you right there, that's race wars. One people gonna stand up to fight against another people with swords in hands. That's like the modern day sword is what, the gun, man. or whatever the fuck you can find. A nigga might have a golf club. Another nigga might have a baseball bat. Nigga have a knife. A nigga might have an actual fucking sword, man. You know? Esau know these things are coming, man. But with that, man, I hope that this lesson was edifying. I hope it made sense, you know? And, yo, man, we almost out of here. This the Passover's coming up on Tuesday, sundown, you know, which is March the 19th, man. Lord's willing, this will be our last Passover in this fucking hellhole, man. I don't want advertising, man, you know? Because, like, yo, prophecies is rolling, man. And so the next lesson, I'm going to say Shalom Makim, stay strong, and death to America, man. We almost won. Shalom.